live on Facebook.
2, 1. What's happening? Social media, YouTube, Facebook. Appreciate y'all tapping in early. We getting ready to rock and roll. Truth be told. Mm-hmm.
The thoughts, opinions, and statements expressed on this show are not the thoughts, opinions, and statements of
the camera.
LBFM 98.5.
Go ahead, Gerald.
Hi.
What's happening, family?
It's Truth Be Told with myself, T Baby.
And Nelson Hill.
How y'all doing today?
Appreciate y'all tapping in. T Baby, I'm gonna sit back like this today. We're gonna make sure we have no distortion. If you have any problems with the mic, make sure y'all let us know. We're getting ready to try to get it right today.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
How you feeling,
Okay.
T Baby?
I'm good.
You have a good week?
I did.
It's been 7 days since they seen you.
I know.
How you feeling? You look like you got a story to tell.
No, I don't.
No.
I did not.
Well, something has to be going on in the news. So I'm sure there's been something on your mind. We can jump it off or however you want to get into it. What you want to do?
I don't know. What you have for today?
Just going in?
What did you have for today?
I wrote down a few things. You know, we just getting set up. So I wrote down a few things. I think one is just kind of recognizing some of the stuff that most people are on. So I think the first thing that we should recognize is today is June 19th. And, you know, every time we come in here, I usually say it's a certain day. Well, today's certain day is Juneteenth.
Yeah, happy Juneteenth.
So happy Juneteenth to the listening audience. And, you know, I hope if you don't know what that means that you Google it, you go look it up and get you some knowledge about Juneteenth. But I just want to say this is the official day. I think last time we was here, we was talking about when we went to the Nelson Atkins.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we've been celebrating for the last week. Yeah. I think at least from about the 13th, 16th, something like that, up through the 19th. So this is the official day. So just want to recognize that and shout out to everybody who's participating in Juneteenth celebrations and
who did
participate. Well, today is the actual day. So, you know, it's people in Texas, it's people. So shout out to those who recognize it. If you went to work, you know what I'm saying? That's good that we are acknowledging it. It seems like when I was younger, it was something that we didn't really like acknowledge that much. Now it's kind of a little more prevalent. So I'm happy at least the culture's kind of catching up with it.
Yeah, it is becoming more prevalent in our communities. So that's a good thing.
That's right. That's right. I got a few things written down. I know you said you kind of open for discussion. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So we started with that. What else I got on my paper? And hopefully we could just kick something off. I got just kind of current, you know, so Juneteenth happened, but also on the 17th was Father's Day. So that was Sunday. And there's been this conversation been out here about the myth now. I guess we're kind of debunking the myth of the absence of the Asiatic dad. So for a while, I think that there was a myth out there that Asiatic fathers are not involved in their children's lives. And there were some statistics that came back saying that actually Asiatic fathers, or we, spend more time with our children. We, you know, bathe them, take them out to play, feed them, you know, spend quality time with them and have a better relationship with our children than I think it's been portrayed in the media.
Well, we know that.
So, you know, I'm just bringing it up because it's Father's Day and there's this big stigma in the media. Like, so one of my partners, I won't say no names, he had put this big post on there talking about on the book, talking about how he was tired of seeing women, you know, giving themselves happy Father's Days. And so he was kind of making a point about, you know, we've talked about men being fathers, women being mothers, and, you know, when a woman, you know, we definitely honor the woman that's raising her children, single mom, but she can be a single mom. She can't be a mama and a daddy. So we had that conversation, but I just wanted to acknowledge the brothers out there just doing their thing and, you know, spending more time with their children, quality time with the fam, even though there's a stigma that's been put out here that, you know, we don't do that. So just want to get that, show some love. That's all. We know what time it is.
Yeah, when they're allowed to do it, they do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, though, we just get that bad rap. And to be honest, you got brothers that, you know, love their children and be doing stuff. And I think sometimes it's looked upon, you know, how much income or how much money you have to put into your children. But, you know, that's to me is a secondary thing. Obviously got to support them, but it's about spending quality time, you know, not just dumping finance on them. It's about, you know, going to the park, going to Worlds of Fun, or just even doing things that don't cost money, just spending time, taking a walk. So it's a lot of brothers out there that's doing that. Shout out to them. And, you know, you're missing an experience if you're a brother that's not out there doing that. You're really missing something special, spending some time with your own seed. So I just wanted to recognize that. And then I guess we could just kind of get into some more things. Huh? What else is relevant? I'm just kind of catching up, small talking on just things that we know of that, you know, we ain't been here in a week. And since the week's passed, there's been a couple of holidays that have gone by. What you think about, I guess I'll just interview you, T, baby. What you think about this? I guess the thing in the campaign on political circle is separating families, you know, the families that are maybe trying to come across the border from Mexico. They're basically taking the children and putting them in one place and taking the adults and housing them in another place. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's government doing what the government does. So I did see the pictures and videos of the places. They look like concentration camps. I'm like, dang, they really got here doing this to children.
It's just crazy.
It's like, I mean, but do you tell people quit trying to cross the border? I mean, I don't know why they're trying to cross the border. Oh, we need to back up a little bit. Hold on 1 second, because we didn't tell you guys, you know, if you wanted to call in or call us at 816-599-6893.
Yeah.
On the website, kuaw.org, www.kuaw.org. Facebook, KUAW LPFM 985. For those that's on YouTube, might want to switch over to Facebook. Or if you're on Facebook, you might want to switch over to YouTube. So that's on KUAW. On YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe that page. And then you can always email us up here at kuaw985@gmail.com. So I want to get that out there because we want you guys to engage in the conversation and let us know what you're thinking and some topics out there and guys, what you guys want to talk about. Okay. So,
and we might as well tell them to like it, share it, help promote it so we can get the word out. Go ahead, T.
These are people seeking asylum. It's not right. Oh, asylum from Mexico.
Well,
like
just
the people coming in.
They're seeking political asylum. I think some are coming from Central and South America. Mm-hmm. And so if they're coming across that southern border, they're getting detained and they're getting split up. Now, it doesn't happen on the northern border where the whole families are trying to, you know, come over here. And they're separating them. And, you know, a lot of brothers are likening that to, and, you know, sometimes we want to be forward thinking, but, you know, reflection is the business of man. You know, back during slavery, that's what was happening. You know, mothers, daughters, sons, families were being split up. You know, you had a sibling, your sibling might be separated from you, taken down the road to another plantation or whatever. So I think part of that whole design, we've seen it before. And one way they feel like they can break up people down by breaking up the family.
I don't know if they're trying to break. I don't know what they're trying to do.
It's trying to be a deterrent. It's a deterrent to not come. Because if you get caught, then your family is going to be disassembled.
All they need to do is get on Facebook and see not to come anyway. Like,
don't come.
Not the place you want to be. Don't come.
You know, the grass always looks greener on the other side. Yeah, I'm sure from their perspective, this might be a better opportunity, but you know,
it probably is. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, they said the same people that were immigrants, like, are now trying to keep them immigrants out of America. Like, y'all
that's the
immigrants.
That's the ones who's making the law. Like, we're going to redo all of this. It's the main people that's doing that.
Oh man, that's just like Trump then talking about making a branch of the military in space.
Yeah.
Who are you fighting? Aliens? Like, why do you have a branch? I said, you know what? This is crazy.
I think what they're going to try to do is, you know, the technology is up there. So, like, you put a satellite to GPS, all of that, you get a military force up there
for
control, I guess. I mean, I'm really not. It sounds like some Star Wars stuff to me, but I'm sure that there is a hidden agenda to the whole space program.
I don't know. They're trying to move to Mars. I wish they go ahead and hurry up and go. And they are talking about something we gonna want to go with them. No, I'm not.
Said don't be comfortable right here.
Go ahead.
Man,
do what y'all want to do. Go on up to Mars. Leave us alone.
Crazy.
I'd be cool with that. But I just didn't understand it. I'm like, what? It sounds like another way to waste some money.
It's a lot going on right now.
How is you fighting in space? Space suits and I just don't understand it. I don't understand who are you fighting?
Well,
Who are you fighting?
You're gonna be fighting to hold the final
Russia
frontier.
Or somebody got some military force in space.
Well, in the 60s, that was the big thing, and that's what the whole conspiracy is between Russia. Okay, well, I'll tell you, back in the 60s, I'm sure Mr. Walker can remember. I think it's like late 60s. What you try to say? He wasn't around in the late 60s. He was trying to put a man on the moon, and it was a space race between us and Russia. And whoever was supposed to be getting out there first was going to have, the bragging rights to say that they got to space first or whatever. But to me, like, if you control that upper little thing, it's not going to do nothing as far as we're concerned, because even if they have some plans, I think that's going to end up falling through. But I think they're just going to try to control that technology. That's where you can shut stuff down from, and, you can pinpoint things from, global tracking systems and things like that. I don't know what's all with it. But that
don't sound like you need a military branch out there. I don't know. It was just crazy to me. I didn't know what he was doing. Y'all got any opinion on it? I don't know. Who
somebody let us know. And then the other thing that's going on is this, starting to see all of these, and I'm sure it's tied back some way. Starting to see a lot of, seems like a lot of commercials or a lot of advertisement for Israel. And the big thing now over there is this American embassy that was put, pretty much right in the heart of where the Palestinians, consider to be their Mecca, so to speak. And so I think it's some things that's going to tie together within the next few years, probably before 2020. And we'll have answers to this whole space thing. We'll have answers to this American embassy over there. So it's kind of crazy.
What you saying the space thing has to do with Israel?
I'm not saying, I think it's connected somewhere. I'm not saying like on the surface it is, but I'm thinking that right now, you got some people that are probably gearing up for whenever World War III, if you believe in that, is going to happen. And they believe that next...
they're going to fight World War III in space?
I think they're going to... I think, like, if you could get some type of action cracking, and you just, instead of shooting missiles from one continent to another, you just rain down fire from space. You send stuff from the atmosphere down. And right now, they're trying to control the weather. I'm sure you know about that. You know about the chemtrails. And so they're just trying to go higher and higher with it. And then once you get up there, you could kind of control atmosphere and things of that nature. So I don't know what all of the spin is, but I do think that it's an agenda behind it.
I don't know if you how much you can control from space. Our planet is surrounded by militarized satellites. This is what Space Force is about.
Yeah.
And what are these satellites going to control?
Well, everything right now, technology is ran through a system. And that system,
but they don't have no control over. How do you know?
Well, like, what like a microburst is, right? Have you ever heard of that? Mm-mm. So microburst is when you can basically drop a bomb or send it's like a reverberation of energy through the atmosphere, and it knocks out all technology. So if your car has a tracking system or computer chip, your cell phone, any technology can be enabled from a distance. Cars now, they're driving without people, and so they're controlling stuff from online now.
But ain't nobody controlling nothing. What you mean they controlling it? They not doing nothing.
When I say they're controlling, I mean, like, right now, if you got a car and it's new enough, they can actually remote log into your car and drive your car with you in it. They can control that because your car has a computer chip in it or runs off a computer system. And so when I say control, everything that have they did that? Have they done it? Yeah. They drove a car with no human being in it from New York to California.
Through a satellite, through a computer that's in the car?
Through the computer, but the computer's hooked up to a database that's up in space. Computers are
I don't know.
linked.
I think that might be speculation.
Check it out, T, baby.
I don't know about that.
Ask our audience. A
militarized satellite is a weapon in space. A weapon against what, though? What are you fighting in space?
You're fighting technology. You're not fighting nobody in space. You're fighting a war on the earth, but from a... have you ever heard that? This is saying, like, he who has the high ground wins, a high ground, low ground. That's just, that's somebody's maybe interpretation of having the higher ground or the upper hand because they're able to do stuff like that. So
it sounds like a conspiracy theory.
I mean,
they're gonna go in space and start controlling our TVs. Like, come on now. What are they gonna control with the TV? They gonna turn your TV like, oh no, he's watching the game. I'll turn this channel.
I'll tell you what they get ready to do. What they're gonna do is they're gonna get you addicted to technology, and this is pure speculation. So don't take this as that. But in my opinion, once you become so comfortable with technology, we're going to get to a point eventually where we almost can't move around without it. Like right now, we still can do certain things, but you got a generation that their phone is basically part of their hand. And if they can't, do a transaction through the phone, banking, pumping gas, a lot of things that happen through a computer system. If you don't have access to that, you stagnated. You done.
I know. He said I ain't keeping it with this at all. I'm not.
You ain't keeping. We shot it over your head.
Your TV is controlled by space. Oh my goodness.
They know what you. That's how they know who got the. That's called the Nielsen ratings. They know how many people's watching.
Teslas drive themselves by satellite.
Park themselves. They got cars that park, cars that'll valet you. You hit a button, the car come to you.
I know that. I know that because I said I would never get a Tesla because ain't nobody just about to hack my system and start driving me somewhere, then lock you inside
right, that's
car.
what I'm talking about. Now you
then
see what I'm talking about.
Inside the car just driving you somewhere. You don't even know where you're going. Next thing you know, you pull up at a concentration camp.
Done.
I ain't got time for this.
And you know what? It's not just Tesla, T baby. It's not just Tesla.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we saying that, but I don't know. That might be. I don't know. I have to see it.
Check it out. Check it out.
To believe, I need somebody to be like, somebody hacked my car while I was driving, and it just start going somewhere. Like until somebody come out with that and say that they didn't have no control over
right.
Then I believe your phone in your hand is controlled by a satellite.
Try and explain to them.
What do you mean controlled? Like
the information. So right now, if they want
you can say it's backed up. Controlled means that you're actually doing something with it.
I mean, if they wanted to. So right now, let me just ask you a question, T baby. Do you think right now, if they wanted to send me a message from you, right, they could send it to me? I would think it's you. T-Baby, what's T-Baby hitting me for? But it could be somebody else using your device. You don't think that's possible?
I mean, why though?
Listen, when you control the distribution of information and you control technology.
Way too many people for somebody to be like, these satellites is controlling all these cell phones.
Listen.
Like, that's way too many cell phones for you. What you think it's just one person in a control room?
Play.
Like, is it just one person in a control room?
No, they got a whole organization that's behind this.
Sit up here with a control room with a whole bunch of TVs and computers and just everybody information just scrolling
slapping through. Well, what happens? I think they got a thing, right? So you trigger your recording. You say a certain name, a certain word, a certain thing, it can raise attention. But they are listening. They already told us that. They read emails, they read text messages, they listen to you. I bet you got a file right now. T-Baby, you got a file right now. They watching you, babe. Nah. They watching you.
You're trying to say that it's somebody right now that just got a file on every single
it's not
person
a somebody
in the world.
No, but in America.
No, but the satellites ain't just for America.
Right, but the threat would come from America. The threat doesn't. There's certain people in positions that they probably know about, but if it's not a threat, like
some B-16 stuff off Scandal.
Well, let's do it. Let me do this real quick, and I'm happy you playing the devil's advocate. I always want to say shout out to Donita, my homegirl. I want to shout out my guy Bill Hughes. Bill, come on, man, kind of chime in on this. This is a smart guy. Hey, listen, me and Bill, we have conversations all the time, little, text back and forth. Very intelligent brother, so he can give us some insight.
They can hack into cars and computer systems and drive the car.
Yeah, your phone in your hand is controlled by satellite. Okay, so that was Bill.
GPS,
I was in it.
Yeah, GPS stands are global positioning satellite.
Global tracking,
yeah,
right.
But not tracking because it's GPS. Not GT. It's global. He said global positioning satellite. I understand with GPS,
but it's for tracking.
Because GPS, when you hack into your GPS, you need to know where you're going or whatever. I appreciate the satellites because they tell me when it's an accident in front of me.
Well, that's how most technology comes in. It comes in as a.
But they're not controlling nothing. They're not controlling.
So let me ask you this: if your car is a certain year or model, they might could. So let me ask you this real quick because I know you got something ready. So when you say, "Hey Siri, turn the lights on," hey Siri, lock the front door, and when you do that, do you think that somebody's listening to you? They've got people where the police have shown up. It might have been a couple. They arguing in the house, right? But Siri is picking this up. and that conversation is being recorded or listened to somewhere else.
NSIC or something like that. Everyone has a file.
Trying to tell her, T baby don't want to believe these guys is out here.
No, it's not, because it's who is it? Like, bro, I'm trying to get in control of
So let's
I'm
think
trying to
about
find out who they
this.
are.
So you know who J. Edgar Hoover is, right?
Sure.
Or was. Okay, so he controlled the Central Intelligence Agency, right? And he was the one that really started creating these files. And he had files on presidents, he had files on clergy, he had files on politicians, he had files on congressmen. And with that, he gained information. And through that information, he leveraged himself in a position of control where pretty much nobody was going to be able to move him. And so once you have access to information, that just makes you more powerful. It's almost like if I got access to information that you don't have, then I'm always going to be a step ahead of you. And that's how you can, that's how you control the masses. It was a guy by the name of, I don't want to mispronounce his name, and it'll come to me in a minute anyway. He said 40 years ago, it was easier to control 1 million people than it was to kill 1 million people. He said now it's easier to kill 1 million people than it is to control 1 million people. So to me, a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with has to do with trying to keep a handle on something that they know they're not going to be able to keep a handle on much longer, but it's about control.
Okay, so it's a computer, not a person. Well, somebody got to control the computer. Computers
Well,
don't control themselves.
You put the data, you put the information in there, and it just does the math.
It should start sounding fishy to everybody once you get to a certain level.
Now let me ask you, because we've given some plausible explanations of why your president wants to have a outer space military. What's your thoughts on it? Why do you think he's trying to go up there?
Oh, he crazy. I mean,
one word answer, that's it.
He done got nothing better to do with his time.
That's it. He just want to start a branch of the military in space for just I'm crazy.
He want to do something. He want to be able, I don't know. He talking about some. Yes, they do. I don't know what he's saying. Yes, they do too. When Sark said it's not just our satellites, but we can attack other countries' satellites, disable their GPS.
Sure.
Designed for military. Now that makes more sense.
I said that earlier.
You're talking about controlling the people in your country, not this other kind of stuff. That just sounds like some conspiracy theory type stuff. People better start watching what they say. This stuff gonna start happening for real.
Listen, it's already happening.
It ain't happening.
We 10 years. Anything that you see out now, like if we get the information, if we know about satellites, that means it's been around for 20 years. Back 20 years ago, they had cell phones and all kind of stuff. We just now getting privy to a lot of this technology. So
who had it?
The government. You don't think the government had?
They didn't invent it.
The government has cell phones. Military is way advanced, farther than what the people have access to.
They had the cell phones, but the cell phone was invented by. Oh, never mind. Let me just.
Go ahead. So let me ask you this:
everything in our world is controlled by satellite.
Do you believe? What's up, Kanisha? What's up, homegirl?
It's happening now.
That's what I'm trying to explain to the people. I mean, the people know it. I think T-Baby, you in a little denial.
I ain't in a denial. I just don't think about crazy stuff like that. I live my life. The only person that got control over me is God, and He ain't a person. He an energy.
Right.
So all this other stuff y'all talking about is form.
So let me throw this out here, and this sounds kind of funny, right? But I'm gonna kind of tie this in here. So we're talking about man-made devices and things of that nature that controls man-made situations. So obviously, we know that nobody is controlling you per se, but you can be controlled through or manipulated. And when we don't think that that's possible, to me, that's like when they really got you. Like when you're like, nah, they can't do that. And you just living your life like it's golden, and it is. They still moving. Moving.
But I really don't care as long as it ain't affecting me.
Well, I hope that I put it like this, T-Baby.
Because my cell phone don't control me. I'm not
because you plan to have
information that I put on my cell phone. Anybody could know, because you should know that.
You plan to have children one day, maybe, possibly, right?
Yeah.
So it's certain things that you got to know about, because you got to equip them, and that generation is going to be more susceptible. Because I think about it like this: we plan for how am I pay the rent this month? What am I going to get these bills taken care of, such and such. They plan for generations. So 4 generations from now, we're going to be able to do certain things based on something or a seed that we planted in 2000. Now in 2018, it comes to fruition. So that to me is kind of how they move. And if we're not cognizant of it, or at least just paying attention, then we can get caught up in it. I'm not trying to hold those thoughts, trying to bring them in a manifest, but I do want to make sure, like if I jump in a car, I know that if this car has a GPS in it, or if it's a certain year, that it can be hacked. That car can get hacked.
That's crazy, because it's like, dang, do I buy this new 2016?
You might skip with the old school.
Because, you know, I might have to, because this is the thing, like, you don't want nobody you can't just be riding around like, oh, is this it? Is this it?
Did you hear about that lady? You hear about that lady? The woman got killed. She was, I think, a homeless person, or she was walking across the street, and the car was being manually driven, not manually, being driven remotely, but it had a passenger in it. But the passenger was just to ride and log the trip. And the woman was walking across the street, and the car ran her over. The sensor or whatever didn't see her, but that was the manufacturer of the car is bad, so they had to take it back and try to revamp it. But yeah, the technology is here. The technology is here.
Russell said anything we have, they had years prior.
Tanya, yeah, that's right, Tanya.
That's right. Okay.
Here's a fact: the government has had a Space Force for 20 years. They just named it, and then they went to something else, or it stopped. But and it could have been NASA or whatever they might have named it. But yeah, but do you know that all of the footage from the lunar landing is gone? All of the technology is now supposedly been misplaced, and just this whole space thing is it's kind of like the final frontier, but it's not, because they know more about space than they know about what's under the ocean. That's the real frontier. But we're gonna get into that.
I'll be watching out for it to see how it turns out, and see how it happens, and see what's
it out.
Interesting comes from it. See what they doing, and see if they start controlling people's cars.
I think they already been doing it. You just gotta pay attention.
Whole car got hacked.
I told you the car ran over and killed the woman, T baby.
Oh
they done drove these cars.
A malfunction of a car, because
I'm sure they didn't
parallel park themselves.
Yeah. I know that they weren't trying to kill anybody intentionally. Well, I can't say I know that. I believe they weren't trying to kill anybody intentionally, but they were driving the car from a remote control. And so it just happens. It's happening. They can change your radio station. You listening to whatever your music is, music change. They can do all that. So
know better. I don't know.
What we got here?
It says our military has been working on space. Not saying they just named it. Oh, when they're talking about the Space Force. I mean, I don't know. It sounds interesting. That's all I can say.
I think that this is the thing. I think there's been technology out there outside of just what we might call Earth. And I think even from back in ancient Egypt, there were maps of the solar system. I've been really into the zodiac sign lately, so I'm looking at all these stars and maps and charts, and I think it's a connection where everything is connected. And so if you can figure out how to, apply some pressure in one place, then you're going to feel an effect in another place. So it's all connected.
Control don't mean a hack. It's driven by satellite.
It's driven. So
I guess it is.
Now let me ask you this, we've been on that. So I'm just, if the conversation keeps going, it's cool. But been a lot of earthquakes and volcanoes erupting here lately too. What do you think about that?
That's life. That's what it does.
That's what's supposed to be going on right now?
Yeah, it's a volcano. Eventually it's going to erupt.
So do you think that, I understand that. I mean, that's common sense. I guess what I'm trying to say, T baby, since we're going to be exact, do you think that technology is to the point now where it can control weather, control natural events, control things like that? Yeah. Like earthquakes, like volcanoes, like thunderstorms, like tornadoes, like hurricanes.
They do that.
Okay, that's kind of what I was saying. I was saying, I'm tying that to the space program. It could be after,
but I don't know.
It could do stuff with that.
They don't got to be in space to do that.
Well, you could create a weather machine here, but I'm just saying, if you create the technology here and put it up there, then
you can control it, especially in Kansas.
You don't think they can control the weather?
You can control it from space. Like, it would be the whole Earth. Like, how would you pinpoint in Missouri?
Well,
space is far.
Let me tell you this. These satellites are so sensitive with the technology. They can read the name or the pin on your lapel from space. Like, they got a satellite. They could take a picture and zoom in so close that they can read the name on his shirt. Like, if he worked at a gas station and he had his shirt, had his name on his shirt, they could read that from space. So they pinpoint. It's not just we got the satellite out here and the whole world is subject to it now. They can actually pinpoint target locations and do whatever they do. And now you're talking about other technology, drones. You got drones out here, right?
Hold on. So you didn't see them take a picture from space of a person?
Yes. Haven't seen that?
I need to Google it.
Google that. They done took all kind of.
now
I think when Saddam Hussein was living over in the Middle East, they were taking pictures because they were trying to find him. He was hiding underground in a hole or something. They got thermal technology. You can hide behind a wall. If they can sense that your body heat is back there, they can look through the wall and catch you running or walking on the other side of a brick wall. And they've got technology now that can actually projectile through the wall from a mile away. They can put a sniper a mile away and get you and you won't even know it. And there's another guy that's sitting there telling them 2 clicks to the left, 2 clicks to the right. And they're basing technology, they're using technology to do a lot of these maneuvers. So
I mean, when you talk about snipers and stuff like that, they're not in space.
Okay, so do you think that the military can make a drone and control it from a satellite?
Yeah, but what
that's space.
To take a picture. Well,
I'm not only talking about
not taken from space. The picture is taken from the drone.
Well, they got satellites
underneath the atmosphere.
I understand that, but they got satellites that take pictures too. That are not connected.
Taking it from space.
I believe they are, T baby. I really do.
Well, I Google pictures taken from space, and all I see is balls of Earth.
Google picture taking us balls of Earth. You can see balls of Earth, huh? Okay. Oh man. And then we got to also keep in mind too, a lot of information that we get, we only have this information because we're allowed to get it.
I think it's propaganda.
T baby.
Oh, it's propaganda.
T baby.
Believe in everything they tell y'all.
T baby.
Y'all can't believe everything they tell y'all. Okay. Y'all know y'all can't believe that. They told y'all came from Africa.
So let me ask.
Now y'all want to go to Ethiopia.
So let me ask you this. So, and I'm done with this. We're moving on because T baby shooting us down. So somebody gets stranded. They got a Cadillac. Cadillac has OnStar. OnStar is connected to a satellite. The person locks their keys in the car. You make a phone call, and then your car door comes unlocked. Click. Or if someone steals your car and they drive off, they can kill that engine. They kill that engine from a satellite. That's North Star.
I guess they are pinging off of maybe satellite.
They can pinpoint. Listen, you can turn your cell phone off right now, and if it's a serious crime happens, they can with your cell phone off. They can track you down if you got your phone on you, even if it's turned off. They pinpointing stuff.
You gotta take the battery out.
I think they still can find you. Most phones, like this phone, you can't take the battery out of it. The new phones' batteries don't come out. You can turn them off, but you need a little key to pop that sucker open on the side, bust it open. Then there's a tape on there too. And if you rip that tape and then you try to take the phone to get it fixed and they see it's been tampered with, you out of there. So they tracking people, believe me.
I don't know, Kennedy. Y'all help me out on here and find me a picture of this person.
It's facts. Kenesha said fact. Look up Saddam Hussein.
Ain't coming.
Engine photograph or whatever. But I just say I would love to. This is my thing. Google Earth.
Want to see the picture.
Google Earth and then pinpoint your address, your house, and they'll have you in your front yard.
Yeah, because you can see it on Google or whatever, but that ain't. I guess, but it's probably other ones down here. So it got to be something down here that has that information.
So let me ask you this, T baby. T baby, how high up do you think the internet goes?
I don't know.
Do you think it stops at a certain area? It stops over,
once. I've seen that commercial, Denny. I was just thinking about that where the lady is up in space and unlocks her husband's keys or whatever from her phone or
right now.
Like that.
If the doorbell rings in my house, I can look at it on my phone. Who's at my door? I mean, the technology is it's here now.
That's tight,
and I would rather I would rather maybe think a little too much of them, give them a little too much credit and be on my toes than to underestimate, not believe they could do something and then get caught up because I was like, I didn't even know they could do that.
I don't know. As long as they don't do it to me. And if they do that, better.
What about your brothers and sisters? You don't care about that?
They faith is they faith. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Take it and save yourself. Take it. T baby, so tough on the people.
I can't be like, well, he did it. No, I have to account for me, myself, and I. Okay, I can't control what nobody else do. What they faith is, anything. I can't do none of that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. That's between them.
Well, I'm gonna keep fighting for us because if I find out some information, I'm definitely gonna let you know so you can protect yourself.
Is it hard to believe that that's happening or that technology is that advanced? it's not hard to believe that technology is that advanced.
That's
I'm
right,
just saying
Queen.
that it has to be more than just that
That's
satellite
right.
up there. It has to be something else down here that they're tapping into or getting a signal from or getting a
It's
picture
all
from or
connected. They
whatever.
got it all
But it
connected.
ain't just y'all better watch Enemy of the State. I'm not watching
Yeah.
no
She don't want to
movies.
hear them conspiracy theories. Check this out, y'all. We got to take a little quick commercial break. It's about that time. Appreciate everybody tapping in and participating in the conversation. This is KUAW, Truth Be Told. We'll be back right after the break.
Y'all better quit watching them movies. They messing with y'all.
We gonna
mind.
get. I'm gonna try to season T baby y'all with the maxims of truth as much as possible.
No,
We're gonna
that
bring
ain't
her
no
over here.
maximum
We're gonna
truth.
bring her over here. Let her know what's happening. What's
One of my
occurring?
faves.
One of my
Oh,
faves.
Enemy of the State.
One of my faves.
Y'all better start watching these. That's why they got
Hey T,
Geostorm.
Tanya,
Now they talking about
Tanya.
See that?
You want to
Tanya.
see that?
I almost think it like this. And whatever you see on the
I was
movie,
thinking
they
that
had more advanced than that.
Geostorm, yeah, they gonna be like, oh man, every natural disaster, they gonna be like, oh, the government did it. The
Listen.
government did it. How about God did it? Okay.
Well, guess what? This is how it goes. You know how the bigger Quran says, you know, when certain people are planning, then God is behind them planning. So this is all part of a greater plan, but we know how it's going to end because this is going to be a more of a spiritual thing. All right.
All satellites are housed in space. All right.
That's what that Siri is and all that in
That's
your
cool.
house. They
I
trying to
ain't
get in
tryna
your
go to space
house.
anyway. So
Yeah, that's what we on. He said, Donald waiting to put you up there.
he ain't putting me up there. They going up there. They the ones want to get. Hey, they the ones got the money to get in the spaceship. Go on ahead. Y'all can handle that.
You
Y'all
going to
can
bring us
handle that.
back?
All right, here we come back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, thank you. We're back.
And
from the
we're
break.
back.
We're gonna do a little station identification.
Yes,
So,
sir.
appreciate you guys rocking out with us, the ones that's listening over the airs and also live on YouTube and Facebook right now. Make sure y'all share, like, and with your friends.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Post this up. Let the people know we here every Tuesday, 6 o'clock, KUAW.
Okay, so I guess we can close out the
Space Force.
Yeah, I'm tired of talking about space, y'all. I'm
Space
done with
Force.
space.
What we got?
XXX.
I don't know nothing about him.
Temptation.
I don't know nothing about him.
Okay.
Go ahead. Who is he? What song does he
I
rap?
really didn't know. I looked him up. I YouTube, a couple of his songs and everything, and
Hey,
tried to check
Kanisha.
out because I really didn't know who he was at first.
K-Town.
But the main thing, I guess he was real popular amongst like the Little Pump fans. I'm not in that genre, so
Yeah,
I'm
just
not.
a little
I'm
outside.
older than that. I'm a little older than that. I ain't right there.
One step above him.
Yeah. I'm about a year or two above that generation. But he was real popular amongst the youth, and some of the songs I listened to, they were kind of inspiration. But what things I want to talk about is and it is unfortunate that he got killed. I'm not gonna go into the rumor mill of what they saying of why that took place or how that took place or anything like that. But,
Right.
Trust that. I mean, they're out there. I've heard it. I've read some stuff.
Oh, there's tons of rumors going
Yeah,
now. Right
it
now,
is.
it's like one of the biggest things that's on social media right now.
Yes, and I was like, it's crazy because they wait till somebody die. And then they want to talk about him so much or blow him up or,
Right.
where was all this love when he was alive?
For
'Cause
sure.
I
Where
wasn't
at?
seeing nobody sharing no music or anything like that because I didn't ever know who he was.
I
had
think
to
I
look
was.
it
I
up.
thot I was just out the loop. Period. Like maybe the younger life
I
was
only know
pushing it.
because of my kids. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's like a younger generation. But one thing that I want to just point out to people, like I said, it's unfortunate that he died. But some of the songs he had one like depression in a session where he was talking about being depressed because I had seen I think it was Little Duval had posted saying that he was actually like crying out for that generation, like he was that's how most people, and I'm thinking like, dang, do most of our children like really feel that way and we don't even know, and like what's causing our children to feel like that way, or causing our children to feel like they can't talk about things like that. You have a lot of things going on with suicide and people getting murdered and everything like that.
That's right.
But another thing is some of his music I was listening to also, I'm just like, I'm just saying, like, we gotta really watch the things that we say and the things that we think, because
I agree with that.
people not understanding that thoughts are things.
That's right.
And what you think is that, and what you think and what you speak into existence controls your reality. Even if you're just doing it, okay, say you're an artist and you're trying to do it like I guess it's to say to make money, which is the worst reason to do it anyway.
Right, exactly.
But I ain't gonna get on that. That'll be a whole nother topic.
We got 10 minutes. You want to talk about that?
No, I need more than 10 minutes to talk about y'all views on money, baby.
Right. We about to do a whole show on money.
We have to be active in their lives, be nosy. I mean, that's true, but you just got to be more in tune. Really, you got to be more in tune and educate your children more about the things that they listen to, the things that they subconsciously put into their brain, the artists and stuff. But even the artists coming up, for any artist that's out there listening, like when your message that you put out there is supposed to be something uplifting and something, you know, don't be sitting here out there. I mean, you're just causing chaos in your own world. And he's a perfect example of that because I think he's a perfect example of that because he had like a Snapchat video.
He had a little message he was trying. I thought somebody said he was trying to like turn this like corner with his music, with the content of the music.
I guess he was, but I'm just saying. I mean, hey, you don't get away with the things that just let you know that things that you put out there, they live. Those things take life,
and then other people give them energy, and so they still exist. Absolutely.
Because he had a Snapchat video where he was like, where you know how sometimes you talk to someone and then you find out that they like died and you like that conversation sound like he knew he was about to die,
right?
Or how you had that type of feeling sometimes when it comes across people, and his Snapchat video had that type of feel to it, just what he was saying and things like that. And it was like kind of like he predicted his own death, and that's why I was saying that it's important for people to know. That's one thing that I think a pinnacle, is that not a pinnacle?
It is the top pinnacle, the pinnacle of wisdom, pinnacle of knowledge.
I don't want to say the pinnacle then. It's a point,
okay,
or whatever. It's a piece of knowledge that they really stole from us, and that they really try to keep hidden from us. Is that thoughts are things? Because if you start to change the way that you think, if you know that the way that you think is going to affect your reality or control your reality,
right?
What type of things would you think?
Well, this is the thing. There's some information. I'm not going to get into a bunch of speculation, but yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Control your thoughts.
Yeah,
they're trying to control what you think. And part of it has to do with the language you speak, with the food you eat, with the other things that you ingest. It has an effect on the way you process information. But I think one thing that we're looking at right now, especially with this young life, is they're going through a stage of identity loss, right? So when you don't know who you are, you're subject to do things that are not natural for you based on your lack of ignorance or knowledge of self. And I think right now what we're seeing everybody, is not everybody, but a lot of the young life are pushing back against a lot of the norms. I think that's why you see a lot of cross-dressing. You're seeing a lot of just things that the young life is doing, just basically saying, we're really only doing this because we're not accepting whatever you told us as this has to be done that way. So we can do this, or a man can wear a purse or a bag or, what have you.
But
they're just pushing back. I'm just saying, if you want to have red locks or rainbow locks or whatever,
like 6'9",
yeah, like whatever it is, if you want to have, or like you have, that's your choice. And I think at one point in time, like they said in 2017, I read this today, the U.S. military allowed its GIs to have locks or dreadlocks, as some people call them. But it was just in 2017 when that actually went into effect that you can have locks in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that the same thing happened with the tattoos. I had read something and said, when you start to see a lot of tattoos, you start to see people got tats all over their face, on their eyelids, open their lip up, they got word inside their mouth. This is a sign of almost like rebellion or anarchy, like a kickback, basically. Like same with the sagging pants down to the ground. It's a sign that we're not conforming to the norm. We're not putting up with it no more. And so you're getting this huge kickback from this young life, and life, death, all these things that we might have thought we had an understanding on. They're trying to redefine it. They're trying to set it up so they have an understanding.
Well, they need to. I just wish they come to the temple and they can find out.
Come get a little map, get a little bit of road map for that.
A road map for that. It's an app for that.
Yeah, exactly. It actually is.
It is.
It's some music for that too. Like, you know, if you're really gonna make that change, I'm just gonna throw this in here as a random thought. Change your music, change your lifestyle, change this and that. It has to be intentional. It doesn't just happen. You have to make an effort. You're not gonna be able to just walk around lost and then keep wondering why your situation ain't getting better. You got to make an effort for that. So if you're wanting a different result, you got to do something different.
Yeah,
and just get some.
And it starts with your thinking. To the temple. It starts with your mind. Because I mean, like I said, I posed a question. I pose a question to all the listeners right now. Like, if you knew that your thoughts controlled your reality, what type of things would you think? Because if those are not the type of things, or those are not the type of thoughts that you're holding now, tomorrow when you wake up, that needs to be your goal. You have to change the way that you think. You have to understand that you have to intentionally create these things. You have to intentionally control your reality. If you will need a new job, you need to hold your thought, focus in on what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you want, and let those things. It's like the 10 laws or the laws of attraction. Right. Let those things start falling into place. That start happening. More need to go to church. Now I wouldn't say that.
Well, let me throw it. I want to read the comment right above that. It says, I think the message they're trying to send is, I am who I am, accept it or dismiss yourself. Unfortunately, everyone can't help that people will not accept their lifestyle, which leads to pain or hurt or death or bullying or anything else that's out there, because it's you had a post on your thing today. I had looked at your page and it had said something, because I'm pro one way or another doesn't mean I'm like anti. It means I'm minding my own business. I can't tell you what to do with your body or with your hair or with if you want to get a tongue ring or a piercing or whatever, tattoos, what have you, that's really on you. But I think the way our society is, we try to control people a lot.
People like to judge people, and they and they say, I don't judge nobody, but yes, you do. Yes, you do. When you sit there, you talk about, you might say something to your friend or something about the way somebody dressed or the way their hair look, that's judgment. If you looking at someone crazy, because your thoughts can't be hidden from God. So whether you speak the judgment or not, you're probably still thinking judgmental thoughts. Right. And that's why, people are out here trying to rebel against a lot of different things and stuff. But really, we just need to mind our own business. Right. If it ain't you doing it, then you shouldn't worry about what nobody else's karma is going to do to their life, because that's their life. So like this.
Well, they got to live that life. That's creative faith. They got to live that situation.
Yeah, they got to live
whatever it is.
But it's like, even in the church with like the 10 commandments, and I don't know if it's in the 10 commandments. I know they talk about because y'all know I don't really know the Bible that well, so let me not get on.
That's my next comment. That's my next comment. I'm about to clean some stuff up.
I don't really know it that well, so I ain't gonna get on here faking the phone. But I know it's a story in there where they was talking about God burning down the city, because the two
Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot
were sleeping together. And
Lot,
like
and Lot and his family got out of there.
They really frown upon that. Like in the church and everything, they really don't like that and everything. Church will teach an individual to love thyself and love thy neighbor.
Well, let me throw this in.
Disagree with what?
Hold on, let me throw this in here. I want to say this about the church. The church is not bad. It's you have to. This is what happens. A lot of us will go into the church and not have an open mind. So then, just anything that you are told, you accept it, and that's where I may have a little problem. We still have to go study to show thyself approved. You still have to go do your homework. You still have to do your due diligence. You can't just walk in there and expect for pastor to hit you with some information that's going to save you and do all of this. And so it's this application of these things too.
I won't say it's bad, but it wasn't for us. I will say that.
I definitely agree with that, but I think that the reason why it was the way it was given. It was who gave it to us. It was how the Bible, I know you don't, but it says this book is for your own discernment, right? So that means you got to break it down. You got to get in there and find that truth. You got to get in there and dig deep down in the soil and get it. Man knows not by being told. And it's the same kind of principle. But unfortunately, a lot of us went in there blind, deaf, and dumb, and came out that way too. And that's it's unfortunate. I'm
just saying, because to me, it teaches. I don't really agree with anything that teaches hate. Point blank, period. I don't really. If your book and that goes for anything. If your guide teaches you to be judgmental of another person or of thy neighbor, I don't agree with that, because that's not of God. So that's to me, it ain't true. Point blank, period.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Does,
Because it's not.
so does God hate?
No.
Okay. Does he love the lower self? Or what some people might call the son of perdition. The
Or what,
Bible
the
says
devil?
the Bible says the only person or only thing or entity that cannot make it into heaven, that cannot have that concept, is the son of perdition, which is basically the devil, or that hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, devils, Satan, Lucifer, dragon, beast.
I mean, but they
That type
see that,
action.
and another thing with that is they gave you this image of the devil that's outside of yourself. When
And the image
devil
of,
is
and the
within.
image of Jesus that's outside of yourself
Yeah,
too.
I mean, but
I
I'm
mean,
just
I know
saying,
what
and
you're
they
saying.
make Jesus. They try to make Jesus in the right church with Pastor. They try to make Jesus out to being God. But we know Jesus even said, "Don't worship me, worship my Father." Ain't that right?
That's correct.
Okay,
and
okay.
and
You know,
he
I know
never.
that quote.
I always throw this in there. He never said worship
He never
me.
claimed to
He
worship.
said,
Yeah.
follow me. Let me show
It'll be a
you
pattern.
the way. Let me be that
Mhm.
pattern. Let me show you how to walk on water. Let me show you how to do these things. He said, follow me, and
But
I will
anyway,
make you fishers of men.
I was just more so talking about like the image of the devil and the angel, like how you
Right.
live it on the one shoulder and everything like
Sure.
that. And they just make you look for it outside of yourself when you have to know that that's a daily fight that you fight within. So of course people are still stuck in those type of conditions because they don't even know where to look to fix it
Sure.
or to control it or where that thing or where those things are actually coming from, because everything that you read is not giving you the tools that you need to prosper.
See, this is the thing that I agree with you. I think that you have to do that homework, because I think that it's saying that like we know where heaven is, right? You and I.
It's a state of mind.
Okay, so the Bible, Jesus says it like this. He says you can low here or low there, which means look over there, look all around, but the kingdom is within. And he's telling you that heaven is on the inside. They're giving this information, but what happens through
People's
different
interpretation.
customs and traditions and interpretations and indoctrinations, you get a twisted version. But I think that was on purpose. And I think that also what happens is we want the whole truth. We don't want half truths. And so now it was put in allegorical or parables so we could try to comprehend it. But now it's time to get that whole truth. And there were some things that were left out that we needed to complete this thought process. And the Bible says the truth shall set you free.
Right.
So if we don't get that whole truth, we still gonna be halfway handcuffed, kind of, sort of.
Right. And so you left it over. I'm not even gonna say that because
I'm leaving it over because
nobody. No, because I don't want to offend
you just
nobody.
got to know how to say it.
Free.
You gotta say it. Say it
true,
right
It
though.
didn't happen in slavery. All they could read was the Bible.
The
So
setting, the setting of
you know that
freeness,
wasn't it.
the freeness that I assume that Nelson. This is Nelson Hill. This has nothing to do with a physical situation. This is a mental. This is a spiritual. This is a non-physical thing.
That the Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's an acronym that I know a lot of people have.
A lot of people use that
in the Bible,
uh-huh.
And I guess that's why it has more.
Do you like that acronym?
No, because it's not. You can't follow the Bible to a T
So hold
and
on,
live
T.
a righteous life.
I'm just playing the conversation piece. If we use the word basic, right, we all have to start somewhere. We have to get a little bit of understanding. I look at these things like disciplines, right?
Basic, like very
That's
basic.
what I'm saying. So why don't you go with that? If it's the basics, that means there's other knowledge out here. There's other truth. There's other things. I think in the last book of Timothy, it basically it was written that if all the things, the works, the great works of Jesus could be recorded, there wouldn't be enough books made that could hold that information. So we know that there's more information out here. I think this is just sometimes your introduction to spirituality, but we got other resources now.
Okay, we got to tap out. So
Tanya,
unfortunately, I don't have time to give my spiel on what is real right now.
See, baby, what you think is real,
Tune in next week, and I'll, as you know, same time, same place, and I will be happy to tell you.
We'll be back. You gonna hit it? You want me to hit it?
I can do it. So real quick, we're gonna close out. The best word, basic. Oh yeah, I'm down with that. Okay. You are
right,
children,
Kanisha.
One father, provided for by his care, the breast of one mother have given you such. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bonded you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger, but for thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity, assist him. If our sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of our Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other.
Peace.
Peace, peace, peace.
And love.
Armida. It's fine.
Yeah, baby. Good show, T. Can I get some love?
With our conscience.
Good job.
Yeah, we do need to be into. Oh, I ain't even talking on this no more. Okay, we gotta go, y'all. We got another show starting.
We got another
Bye.
show starting. Tap in next week.
They always be like, see.